Okay, so starting off, I'm actually going to paint the rock black. Now it's just a standard rock, it's nothing special, just rocks that I found lying around and about when I'm out for a walk. I'm not taking them from anyone's garden or even brought them from my garden, but they're just, you know, when you're out for a walk, and we've been for a lot of walks during this lockdown. So these are just rocks that, as I've seen them, you get some strange looks as you're wandering around with a handful of rocks, but you see them, you just fang hold of them. Okay, so just like you do with your normal canvases, just plain black acrylic, nothing fancy. There we go. Okay, just brush it over. Now I have got some water here that I had for drinking. I'm sorry if there's a bit of movement, but I've actually got the camera up on a tripod, but it's slung below because otherwise I couldn't manage to see to video without getting the legs of the tripod in the way. So, and like I said, that was just plain black acrylic that came from Hobbycraft. Just normal, everyday, because we'll put a coat of varnish on them. Okay, so I'm going to cut this piece because I'm now going to blow dry the paint. So, yep, it's dry. Okay, so what I'm going to do, what I thought about doing was getting a selection of colours. Richard of York gained. Now I don't actually have a blue in this range, so I'm going to use, what am I going to use? I'm going to use a Hobbycraft blue, I think. Might just more of an indigo. Might mix those two together, and I might use those two mixed together for the blue. And that's my indigo, and then I need a violet. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to use the lighter violet. I might mix a little bit of that one in with it. And that's definitely going to be my green. Okay, so the idea that I thought of was to start with a dot down here and have the rainbow shooting out across. All right, so the colours that I have chosen to use are, this is a matte Pebeo acrylic, and it just says red. Sorry, I can't be more precise than that. I tend not to dunk into the pot, I tend to dunk into the lid. Okay, so going to have it there. Okay, now the wind is blowing like a hoolie out there today, so hopefully this won't be too distracting for you. So that's all I'm going to do with the red, which, so this one was the, let me get my ruler. Oh, there it is, my little baby ruler. And we will see that this was a 10mm diameter. And this one is a 5, so this is half the size. Do find you need to give them a bit of a shake. and I'm just going to go round one. Going to do one down here. One over here. One in the middle there. I might get two here. I do. Okay, so they're my circles starting out. I'm not doing them up too tight because I probably will be repeating the colours. So now we need to come down from the sticks to the actual dotting tools themselves. Now I bought this set with the rods on Amazon. I've supplemented them with another set that I bought on Amazon as well. So that's all my different size dots, but these ones are too big, so I won't be using those today. I will be starting with this one. Now that's my yellow. Next, okay, so I'm going to take the largest dotting tool I have, which is the yellow one, appropriately enough, and I'm going to do just 3 dots. So this is a little bit far away from me, but I don't want my head in the way when I'm doing this. And all I'm doing is resting this on my oil pot, which isn't ideal, but it works. So really it is a case of whatever works for you. You don't have to go and buy all amazing. Wasn't quite enough room for that one, but we've done him now. You haven't got to go out and buy all these amazing different materials. If you're starting out and you don't know whether or not, just flip it over, you're going to like dotting, then all you have to do is have a look round, see what you've got. You can use pencils, pens, just use the nib if you don't mind.
It's 11:42.
Oh, thank you, Mickey. Thank you for that. And then I'm going to take a really tiny one, which I think is the white one. And I'm going to take the red. I'm going to go back. I'm just going to put a dot down there in between the orange and the red, just either side. I just feel that that makes it, that isn't quite gone into a circle, so you can stretch the paint because it's still wet at the moment. There we go. Okay. So that's my yellow. Now let's go to some green. Okay, the green, give it a shake, is green gold. The yellow was mango. The orange was tangerine. Forgot to tell you those ones. I told you that the red was just red. Okay, we'll have a little bit of the green. Now, what am I going to do? I'm going to take a little stick, a little wooden stick, which again came with the sets, and I'm going to put a green dot in the middle. Now these mandalas are all about symmetry, but reading about them, as you go back through the years, they're always done by people and they're more of a contemplation. So do they have to be perfect? No. They just have to look okay to your eye if you're happy with them. Okay, the blue I'm using is a Crafter's Choice and it's called Cold Grey. So I shall put a little bit over there. And next to it, I'm going to put this blue acrylic, which is Ultramarine. So we'll put a little bit of that next to it. And then, I don't know if you can see this or not, but I shall get a little brush. Yeah, I think you can. You're on the corner there. To get a brush, and I'm just going to mix the two together. Because although I want a blue, I want a different blue from what I've got. Okay, so just scrape your paint up into a pile so you've got something to dunk in. Perhaps a little bit more blue. No, that's gone grey. Oh, it's how I should have left alone really, shouldn't I? There we go. Cool. Must admit, I've got the fire going and blimey, that's getting hot. Okay, then we'll take the pink. Okay. Wipe it off and dunk. So let's see what colour this comes out at. Now I'm going to take don't know if you can see that yet. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm just walking the dots a bit. Okay. Just off the yellow. And that comes off around the corner. Then I'm going to take the big one again from the yellow, taking the green, the blue rather, putting a big dot, come back for more, and drag it out. So we've got a bit of a swoosh. So we'll do a dot. Now, they're not quite so easy to do on rocks because they are. And we'll do a swoosh. There we are. Because the rocks aren't even. I mean, if you'd put some acrylic or something on here first and sealed your rock, then that would be easier. In fact, what I might do, I think I'm going to have to tidy it up with a brush. So I will get my little brush, I will wet it a little bit, wipe it off, bring it to a point. Just going to turn this around for a second, get my colour, dunk, and bring it to a point. Dunk and bring it to a point. Okay, a little bit of water, I think, a little bit too stiff. Pop the excess. Dunk and bring it up. Okay, and that just tidies it up that little bit. Where are we? This one. So there's my dot to start with. And just release pressure. So you're starting same place as you did for the dotting tool. You just bring it up with the brush. All right? There we are. So, wash my brush off. Back in my pot. Now where are we? We're with the darker blue, aren't we? So Richard of York gained battle in, so the indigo. So that's just the plain blue, which I will just dunk. Don't know that you'll see this very well on here, and put a dot above the swoosh. I am doing it, it's just, it won't really show up until you varnish it. Now I know a lot of people put acrylic over theirs, but I haven't got all the acrylic stuff, so okay. So that's one, and we'll do a little Y here. You'll see where I'm going with it. That 1, 2. You wouldn't send that one around the corner first. 1, 2. 1, 2. Just a little Y. So you're doing 1. I think it's actually called a crown. So you do 1 and 1, 2. All right. So that's my indigo. So now I'm going to use, because that's so light, so dark, I'm going to use the lighter colour. Still using the blue dotter, whatever you want to call it. Take the central dot and we'll take it out 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Really must get, you can get these little turntables for cake decorating and stuff. I must get one of those for these. It does make life a lot easier. Okay, and then in here I'm going to take have I got a smaller stick? Don't think I have. Okay, so I'm going to take the smallest of these blue ones. Get a dot. I think that's going to be too big. I think the stick is actually, oh, that would be about right. See what I mean? You don't have to have a dotting tool set. There we go. All right, it's just the size I wanted. So that could be the end of a pencil. It could be the end of the paintbrush like this. It just provides a slightly bigger dot. And it still runs out of paint as you walk the dot. Now I'm not going to do that one down there because I've run out of rock. All right, so that's the rainbow completed. So now I'll start again with the red. And we're going to take the yellow one and we're going to 2, 3, 4, 5 if I can. Bring them out. My poor chickens are outside. They're getting blown all over the garden, but they're enjoying themselves. And here There we go. All right. So onto the orange. In fact, I'm going to brighten up. No, I'm going to do the orange. With the, I'm now going to turn this around a little bit so that I can see where I'm going. The orange, I'm going to put a dot at the end of the purple. All right. Repeat with the yellow. I don't need to shake these up again because I'm running out of rock there, so I'll start with this yellow here. I've reduced the size of the dot a tad. So it will look like we're walking the dots when we're not. All right. Green again. So what sizes have we got? I think it's the pink one next. A bit of green. Now if what you choose is a little bit bigger than you want, just don't press as hard. Don't forget the second or third one. That's the end of that row. So now we're on to blue. And paint some blue. That one's done. That's that one over. Right. Okay, and then darker blue for the indigo. That's that one finished. And then the purple. Okay, there we are. Now we can go back. I've got the red. I'm going to take the smallest one that I have, which I think is the white. Just, are you still in there? Didn't know if you could still see it or not. Okay, we'll just bring, because this is small, And that is almost that. What I am going to do is take these off the side. And all I'm doing when I take them away is just taking a piece of kitchen paper and getting myself covered in paint. All right, so I'm now going to let that dry, and I will be back in a moment. Now, I'm going to use this red, which is a garnet red. I think somebody's deciding to do some DIY, or they're having to repair something from a storm. Okay, so I'm going to use this red on top of that, and then with a smaller stick I'll go back with the bright red, and that should just accent it just a little bit. There we are. Just to make the red a little bit more prominent. Now you can go back with various colours and go over the dots, but I actually quite like that the way that it is, so I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to take the rock in my hand, and I know I sign all my oils in red, but I've got the blue here, so I will probably put a little message on the back as well. At some point, I just put my little autograph there. Okay. And that is it, and that is my rainbow rock, and I will let it dry, I will varnish it, and I will let you see what it looks like when it's done. Okay, and there's my rock, my rainbow, and that's it varnished. Give it another coat and it will be quite happy outside, and then if I can just, still a bit tacky, turn it over, I just put be a bit of colour in someone's life. I usually like to leave little messages because the kids, as they go past, they do like to turn them over and have a little look. So I like to put little messages in. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, it was something a little bit different. I've been doing so much with my lockdowns that I've been ignoring my my rocks and my mandalas, and I actually really enjoy doing them. So if there's anything you'd like to see, let me know. If not, I shall record something else. See you soon. Bye. Not quite goodbye. I thought you might like to see some of the rocks that I've painted in the past and are now out in my garden. Well, they're actually in my driveway where everyone can see them. But there's gnomes, there's mandalas, there's gnomes with a bunch of daffodils there, ladybird, and there's the rainbow rock that this tutorial is, and of course a gnome house. And there's another one. Just love. Excuse the wallflowers. Small mandala rock. And let's say these are just rocks that I've picked up as we've been walking during the lockdown. Another mandala spiral. And of course the Union Jack. I hope you've enjoyed seeing them. Take care. Bye bye.